Peace and blessings, family. This is your boy Gerald. It is actually 5:17 in the morning, Christmas Eve. The sun is not even up yet. But I woke up with my mind running. And that I hope I got this volume up. Um, got my coffee. You know I got my coffee going. Cheers. And first of all, for those who have seen the that quick video, first of all, I wanted to apologize. um, I was in my Jeep recording with my phone, and of course, with everything, it rains. And with everything that was going on, I had to end that call because I had to keep my phone lines open due to the circumstances that were unfolding at that time. So I'm pretty much getting ready to gear up this week and going to attend a funeral. But with everything that has transpired, with everything that has been shown, I refuse to allow life circumstances to cause me to have a certain attitude. And bear with me, if you will, because no matter what life shows you in your day to day, directly, indirectly, it's all about how you're going to respond to it. I've come to learn in my life that you have no control on another person's actions, good or bad. The responsibility falls on how you're going to react. Maybe the behavior or what is conveyed. Because one thing that I've learned in my life is that words have power, always have. It's a frequency. It's either love, fear. Body correlates its environment. And with that being said, all it's caused me to do is to ponder what I wish for the new year. Where do I see where I would like to see my life and the placement of the choices and steps I make. But the one thing that has been on my mind, and some of you who have been following me, good morning to whoever's seeing this. Um, you have to be cognitive on your actions. Especially, this goes out to my adults. This goes out to my parents. If you're a parent, it's no secret that you are the walking template the example, you set the precedence of what your child or children will use as a means of navigating their life. You're the sounding board. You're the living example of what to do and what not to do. And especially now, we're coming to the end of 2018. It seems that the things that we should hold dear are our bonds, the traditions, the moral fiber of what makes your identity and your integrity so unique. But the commonality that brings you together. It seems that more than ever, they're under siege. They're being attacked. Um, they're being tested, and the byproduct of that is more and more when it comes to value, importance of passing knowledge from adult to child, from elder to the young, is being rewritten as well as it's being validated for its legitimacy. And I'm saying that because one of the things that I plan to do with this channel, especially for those who may be in their life where the scenario is the unit is not intact. You might be a single parent. You may be a parent that actively is not in your child's life. I'm going to be speaking on that. I'm going to be speaking on that throughout the year. And I hope that my experiences, my opinion, some of you might, some of it that you to resonate and understand. And I would love to hear your feedback on that too, because that is something always have a constant dialogue. You know, we always hear people say it takes a village to raise a child. But what about the environment? You know, we have socially gotten to a place where we've gotten comfortable in not nurturing our young. We've gotten to a place where time has become very expendable and not, how can I say it, not bad. And then we wonder why Johnny is not the little boy that you once knew, or why Chanel is acting a certain way. We don't understand where the disconnect is and how this is that, well, if I give one aspect, that's good enough. I've come to learn these last 20 plus years, 25, that the greatest gift you could ever bestow is connection. You know, I know, guys. You may go back to you may go into yourself and say, "Well, hey, well, I wasn't raised that way. How can I give something that is foreign to me?" It's quite simple, and I say that from a sincere place because what what might be required is for you to be vulnerable yourself. You realize how many families are strained, are disconnected, and there are subfamilies. And what I mean by subfamilies is the person will put it this way: it's normal stimuli, emotional stimuli, for a person to gravitate where they feel accepted, where there is perceived love and acceptance, as they feel safe, even if it's destructive. Look at how every day, even still, there is a child being influenced by what is being perpetuated in its environment. May it be through the media, may it be right outside your door. And that will cause a great, that will cause an unraveling. But all that can be pulled back in. All that can be adjusted. But you must be willing to have the dialogue. That means you have to come as you are. You have to come from a place of openness, which means, yeah, you're going to be transparent. You're going to be transparent. You have to, because if you are not, everything that you represent, that will be the foundation the bond is built off of. Not have the ability to themselves. Sometimes you may see a situation reveal itself, and you may think that you're the reason for the environment. You ever thought that maybe you actually are the representation of work not done? The proverbial loose end, the reminder of times that once was. That's not your burden. That's not your pain. That is why it's so important to be real. Now, there's a lot I want to say, and I got a short period of time of saying it. And you guys got other things to prepare. This is Christmas Eve. Some of y'all are still doing your due diligence and getting the packages ready so that the twinkle of the eye, the smile, will be that'll be your validation. Because these are living memories. These are events that you will enshrine inside you, that no matter wherever you go, You will always take that with you. Now, give me 1 second, and I'm not even going to pause this. I'm keeping it old school. I need 2 minutes. I'll be right back. And don't get comfortable. All right, appreciate patience. Doing it old school. So, I'm saying this because it's easy to your pride and try to figure life out as it goes. More easy to take a methodical approach and allow yourself to think before you act than having to waste time and repeat. I made a decision actually 6 months ago that beginning of the year I was going to take a different approach on my objectives for 2019. And not saying that 2019 didn't have any challenge. 2018 was very good. And every day, every opportunity, I took advantage of it because I made sure that whatever I did, those choices were in my best interest. So now, going into 2019, I know that there is adjustments that I have to make. And I know that for some people, taking a different approach can be scary. And they're afraid that, well, if I go a different, will be sacrificed for it. Well, the one thing that I've learned these last almost 6 years that your story does not change. Well, correction, your story does change because you evolve. You have to grow. And the sacrifice is people come into your life, some people do not. So there are going to be some doors that are going to be open because you've already earned the right. But that doesn't mean that you got to walk through that door. But what may be required is you acknowledge it's there. And some people feel obligated. If I don't go this route, I might ruffle some feathers. I won't flow. I won't feel accepted. If I should say no, you know, how many times have you heard me echo the word no does not mean forever. It means under review. And make room for the people that share the same sentiment you do, the same commonality you do. And guess what? Because it's life, not everybody's going to agree with you. Everybody, everybody. And if I can be more specific, you unfortunately they don't want you to do anything. They want you to stay in the mindset or the perception that they've already made because it then go against their opinion. What happens? It makes things unsettling because now what happens is it puts them in a position that they have to either evolve themselves or be left behind. Yeah, it's a stark reality. It is. I remember one time, well, a couple months ago, I'm riding in my Jeep. I know some of you may also climate that's out there in a town near you, in a city near you, in a state near you, that the roads have gotten very aggressive. To some, downright reckless, irresponsible. And you have some that have no bones or qualms of letting you know. And I was in a situation coming home from work one night, and I had this individual that was so close to the back of my that they could have been instead of self to get that my spirit, God saying, you're not supposed to fear man, you're supposed to fear me. And ever since I latched on that mindset, really worry what's outside. I don't worry about that anymore. I used to the I didn't know if it was my PTSD kicking in. I remember the moment I started to know driving like they were at a NASCAR tryout. I sensed it. I felt it, you know, go on. And yeah, 2018 has not been hasn't been a good year for people. And unfortunately, there are some people that they don't see it that way. But I'm a firm believer that happening now, but the energy you put out will be the energy returned. And those same people are going to go through those same things. That's what manifestation is all about. That's why you must be very kind you do. You have to be mindful of how and how you respond because everything is a test. Everything of your life in a place. If you go through a bout of depression, there's no growth in that. That robs you of your essence, your mortality. It's really the silent and sometimes can feel like proverbial in the room or somebody's on your back and you don't understand why. But the irony of that is this: you still have people in this world that don't, and how is it possible that a person's actions, their words, have such a significant influence when words can't touch you, but behavior you feel indirectly? How is that possible? Because you're a spiritual being. Otherwise, it would have you would have no place in your life. That's why Friday night, when I got the news, I wanted to convey it because that was my validation. You cannot go in 2019 with any regrets. You can't do that. You'll be starting your year off wrong. So that means if you have not taken the time like I used to always do, look at your cell phone, pop them pop them contacts up, look at them wholeheartedly, and ask yourself that those because those contacts are nothing but indirect means of who you are to them, the importance you play in their lives, as well as, I've told people before, some understand it, some don't, and you're entitled to feel that way. But your friends, environment, even your occupation is a direct correlation and of your state of mind. So you got to ask yourself the proverbial question: why am I here? Serve me, or am I serving it? Does it make me feel safe? And if so, is there transparency there so that I can be who I really am? Not the person that steps out into the world, because there are millions of people that put on a fake mask just to get through their day because their occupation requires it. People financially in a place of, but they miserable. They miserable. On the outside, they look like they got it going on. You go in their house, you drive by their house, and it's a winter wonderland, or it's just perfect. But there's no love there. There's no bond there. It's nothing but symbology, meaning that it's just materialistic. And this is a knock. This is not a knock on somebody or you who like to. You're entitled to do what. But if you're going to decorate your environment, make sure the finishing touches has a smile connected to it, has a joy there, has a ability to make you feel proud because it's a reflection of you. And even if you don't, because there are plenty of people that don't put the tree up, they don't. But you know that when you're around them, there's love there, there's care there, there's compassion there. That at our society put more emphasis of others than us. So the question is, why do you do it? If you're not doing it for you, why are you doing it? That's the real question. So I can caveat that to what I said previously. That also validates the importance of having a dialogue. an ongoing dialogue. People that are in should never should never misinterpret your position, how you feel, and for and what you will not condone. Why? Because they are a reflection of you. Now, granted, an opportunist does not need your help to expose themselves, but what's required is to have the courage to identify it. And with that being, some of you are going to have to make a hard choice over your happiness than your consistency. Some of you already that 29 and a pay. Some of y'all already know this, and you may be an because all that you could do, need to do, and the task, responsibility is done. Some of you already know that, but not to make light. You can't have an omelet if you can't. But maybe, just maybe, if those eggs have been broken, your value will be heard. You realize how many people are going to start 2019 with stat? Hmm? Happens. Some people are just going through the motions so they can get through the holiday season, but they already know what they have to do. They already know. 19, the real you is claimed because nothing can make you happy but you. I'm about to bring this to back, but I would be remiss to speak on this too. Two more things. Fellas, hear me, hear me, hear me. If you have a child, you are physically in your child's life, do everything in your power to get there. It could be something as small as a device, sending a text message. If if you're in a place that communication is not being rendered, send a text message. Send, just find a way so that your child knows no matter what, they're important. They have life. I know it may be hard because you're worried about how you're going to navigate around the mother, or vice versa. You may be a mother and your child or children live with the father. Do everything in your power so that your child knows that even though you're not physically in their lives, you still think about them. You still hope that they're okay, and you still love them. Keep that optimism, because what you don't want to do is get so wrapped up in your life that your child feels that like they, because I've noticed a lot the two things that you can do as a child, uh, emotional growth, is to number one, disrespect the other parent in their don't do, because that will leave a perception, cause a bias in that child's mentality, and that is very very dangerous, very very. I'll go a little further to my out there that may have been reared in an environment where your dad was not present in your development in those important moments. You may feel a certain kind of way because your father was not there in those key moments. But you also know deep down inside, you still long for his acceptance, validation. And granted, the one thing I will say how God does, God will always bring people to influence you and protect your best interests, even from yourself. But we must discern and be very weary of what is being presented as well. Those works never done. You got to remember, the devil doesn't even want you to, never wanted you to be. So of course he working. Of course he wants your life to be a train wreck. Of course he wants you to have um, guilt and regret. What's that? Because your progression. Because he already knows who you are destined to be the moment you took your first breath. He already knew that. So he had to put these emotional roadblocks. He had to make sure that these temptations and influences of other only exploit you, that they were in place. Because he knew that you were blessed for something else. So he couldn't allow you to be focused. He couldn't do that because he also knows that focus or development, you're also going to influence somebody else and the lineage that are going to come from you. I already knew that. But I say that because some of you that know my story know that I have a strained relationship with my daughter, my firstborn. And it used to bother me because, she's in California I'm here in Virginia. And not a day goes by that I wonder how she's doing. Not a day goes by that I wonder if she's okay. And I try to make that every month I will sit down and I will write. I will send her a message letting her know, like, hey, you know, the one thing that a person cannot do is change. Like I told somebody dear to me, I said, we don't have the right to choose our parents, but we do have the right to what we learn from them. It's in a bad light. How many times have you seen scenarios where a person came from a disenfranchised environment and they use that environment to motivate them cycle? You may know it as you don't have to you don't have to be there. You don't. You don't. But responsibility as a parent, no matter what the is, to constantly ensure that that you love, let them still have a priority in your life. That road work has been completed. I would like to believe that God will open that door and that bond. But it's going to take work. Sometimes you hear people say, "Well, I wash my hands. I wash my hands with, like you're like the child didn't ask to come here. Child never asked that. The child didn't have a right, but to watch, to learn, to be influenced. So let's play out where the media loves to put that weary mother that's that she's broken because a parent should never have to bury their child. Child's supposed to bury the parent. They love that. They love the splash. It's your job to prevent that. And I'm but too because I also have seen scenarios where unit there supported that it needed for a healthy development. Straight, you know, I would be remiss not to say that it happens. It happens. So, fellas, if this is you, pick that phone up, message, let that child know, hey, look here, I love you. I might not be in your life as I wish, but that still does not change how I let y'all know that will have a great house, but influence them because they know, like, you know what, no, somebody somewhere loves me. I hope you guys have a bonus. I've been echoing this. Yes, you may have every gift under the sun. Your presence. You are the gift. You always. I don't know. Go out for. So if I do, you'll see it. You'll see it sometime in January. Um, just make sure if you're going through something, leave it in 2018. Make peace with it. If it's something that you can establish or be willing to explore that. Know this: if it doesn't put a smile on your face, deserve it doesn't deserve to have space in your life. It doesn't. That's nothing but illusion. That's what you call emotional baggage. And with that being said, stop beating yourself up. Your head. Make a stand on it. And if they get out, so be safe out there. Please be safe on the roads and tell those that you love dear how much they are. Peace.